Per capita GDP to reach $20,000 within 15 years. Headquarters of heavy chemical machinery, key axis of the East Coast Economic Belt. Episode 43, Hamhung Growth Outlook Part 1. Creating the Miracle on the Taedong River. North Korea's Workers' Party can do a market economy. Hamhung will record high growth of over 15% annually and will usher in an era of $20,000 per capita GDP enjoyed by a population of 115 million 15 years after denuclearization. Hamhung City is the capital of South Hamgyong Province and North Korea's second-largest industrial city. It is a representative industrial city where the foundation for heavy and chemical industries has been established since the Japanese colonial period. As North Korea's largest heavy and chemical industrial city and the home of the precision machinery industry, Hamhung City has the greatest potential to be reborn as a Northeast Asia advanced precision chemical and new materials production hub following denuclearization. Unlike Pyongyang, Hamhung already possesses a strong industrial base, making it the city capable of achieving the fastest industrial results after denuclearization, centered on heavy chemical and machinery industries. If successful, it will become a key axis of the East Coast Economic Belt, the Rason-Chongjin-Hamhung-Wonsan region, and contribute significantly to North Korea's economic growth. The most critical element is the Hungnam Industrial Complex. It is home to a concentration of key facilities, including the Hungnam Fertilizer Complex, North Korea's largest fertilizer plant, the 28 Vinalon Complex, known as the symbol of Yucha chemistry, and the Ryongsong Machinery Complex. A heavy chemical equipment and machinery factory, it was designated as the Hungnam Industrial Development Zone in 2014. However, due to international sanctions and a lack of capital and technology, substantial foreign investment attraction and modernization have hardly taken place. Currently, the operation remains at the level of running aging facilities primarily through domestic self-reliance. Hamhung Port functions as a medium-sized port on the East Coast, but its cargo volume is lower compared to Rason and Chongjin. Housing and urban infrastructure are significantly underdeveloped compared to Pyongyang, and power shortages and environmental pollution from chemical plants are cited as serious problems. Here is a general overview of Hamhung. Hamhung City is a city located on the east coast of South Hamgyong Province, North Korea, and is the capital of South Hamgyong Province. It is the third most populous city in North Korea, following Pyongyang and Nampo, and is the largest city in the Kwanbuk region. It is surrounded by the Hamgyong Mountains to the north and the Nangnim Mountains to the west, and as the Songchon River flows into the East Sea through the East Korean Bay, the Hamhung Plain has developed in the Songchon River Basin. The Hamhung Industrial District was established, leading to the development of the chemical industry, and the Hungnam District has Hungnam Port, which can accommodate 10,000-ton ships. As of 2026, the population is approximately 820,000. The area is about 556 square kilometers, which is much smaller than Pyongyang 1,849 square kilometers, but the population density is high. The key to understanding the geographical characteristics of Hamhung is the Songchon River. The Songchon River flows across the Hamhung Plain into the East Sea, and the area south of the river is the original downtown of Hamhung, while the area north is the Hungnam Industrial District. The southern Nangnim Mountains block the winter monsoon, creating a relatively mild climate characteristic of the East Sea coast, and the East Sea coastline serves as a base for fishing and trade. Hungnam became a representative heavy chemical industrial city in 1927 with the establishment of the fertilizer factory of Japan Nitrogen Fertilizer Company, owned by the Japanese Zaibatsu Noguchi, and the Jangjeonggang and Bujonggang hydroelectric power plants. Noguchi constructed factories for nitrogen fertilizer, hardened oil, explosives, carbide, caustic soda, and soda ash, as well as steel and zinc industrial complexes on a site of 6 million pyonga. This history signifies that Hamhung and Hungnam did not become industrial cities merely by chance, but are cities with a history of nearly 100 years of accumulated chemical and heavy industry technology. Transforming this foundation into a modern chemical and materials industry after denuclearization is the key to Hamhung's development. The chemical sector includes the Hungnam Fertilizer Complex, the 2-8 Vinalon Complex, the Hungnam Pharmaceutical Plant, and the Songchonggang Chemical Plant, while the metal and machinery industry sector includes the Hungnam Smelter, the Ryongsong Machine Complex, the Hamhung Machine Plant, and the Songchonggang Electric Plant, making it specialized in the chemical and machinery industries. Hamhung's real GDP is about $150 million, and its GDP per capita is about 1,850, which is the level of the national average in North Korea. Let's look at the major industrial structure. The heavy chemical industry is the largest, accounting for 45–55% of the total. The Hungnam Fertilizer Complex is North Korea's largest fertilizer plant, producing urea fertilizer and compound fertilizers. The 2-8 Vinalon Complex, known as the symbol of Zuche chemistry, produces Vinalon synthetic fibers. It also manufactures various other chemical products, such as vinyl chloride and chemical reagents. The machinery and heavy equipment industry accounts for 25–30% of the total. The Ryongsong Machinery Complex produces chemical plant equipment, heavy machinery, and military-related equipment. The Sinhung Machinery Factory manufactures military and civilian machinery, including tanks and armored vehicles. Other industries, such as light industry, food processing, and construction materials, account for 15–20% of the economy. It is heavily dependent on coal-based energy, and power shortages remain a constant problem. These are the strengths of Hamhung's industry. It already possesses large-scale factory infrastructure and a skilled workforce. Maritime logistics are possible through Hungnam Port. Military industry technologies, such as high-pressure and precision machinery, serve as significant assets when transitioning to civilian use. These are the weaknesses of Hamhung's industry. The aging of facilities is severe. Most of the equipment dates back to the 1970s and 1980s. The inflow of technology and capital is blocked due to international sanctions. Environmental pollution is serious, with chemical plant wastewater and air pollution being major issues. Instability in the supply of electricity and raw materials is also a problem. Hamhung is a typical old industrial city with a heavy chemical industry structure, and it is one of the cities capable of achieving the fastest results through modernization and transition to civilian use following denuclearization. 2. Let us examine why Hamhung City's core assets make it special. Asset 1. The Hungnam Fertilizer Complex is the largest chemical fertilizer complex in East Asia. As a key hub of the chemical industry, the scale and history of this complex mark the origin of the chemical industry on the Korean peninsula. Established by the Noguchi Group in 1927, this plant was the largest chemical complex in East Asia during the Japanese colonial period. Immediate resumption of fertilizer production is possible once denuclearization is achieved, and the source of raw materials is switched to Russian natural gas. Asset 2 Hungnam Port is a key trading port in the Central East Sea. The Hungnam district is home to Hungnam Port, which can accommodate 10,000-ton vessels. Located in the Central East Sea, Hungnam Port serves as an intermediate hub port between Wonsan 100 kilometers south and Chongjin 200 kilometers north. It is a multi-purpose trading port capable of exporting chemical products, importing raw materials, and exporting seafood. Asset 3. It is North Korea's largest provincial university city, where universities and research institutions are concentrated. Major educational institutions include universities such as the University of Chemical Engineering, University of Hydraulic Power, Kumya Agricultural University, Koryo Pharmacy University, Jongsong Medical University, Hamhung Industrial University, Hamhung Computer University, and Hamhung Automation University, as well as research institutions such as the Hamhung branch of the Academy of Sciences, the Academy of Medical Sciences, the Hamhung Tuberculosis Research Institute, the Academy of Light Industry Sciences, the Hamhung Textile Research Institute, and the Academy of Forestry Sciences. The existence of the Chemical Engineering College is particularly important. Graduates from this college have been supplied to Hungnam fertilizer and Vinalon factories and will become key technical personnel for the transition to a modern chemical industry after denuclearization. Asset 4. Hamhung Naengmyeon is a globally known brand of Hamhung. Hamhung Naengmyeon is the most famous North Korean food brand sold in Korean restaurants throughout Korea and even around the world. 3. This is the current status and master plan for Hamhung City by district. Hungnam District is a key hub for the modernization of the chemical industry. Currently, Hungnam District houses light industry businesses utilizing nylon, as well as a machine repair factory, a basic food factory, the Hungnam Vinalon Complex, the Hungnam Machine Repair Complex, and the Hungnam Seafood Processing Complex. Hungnam District is the actual heart of Hamhung City's economy and is North Korea's largest chemical industrial complex, possessing 6 million pyong of industrial land and Hungnam Port. The master plan transforms Hungnam District into the East Coast Green Chemical Cluster and develops it into a hub for the petrochemical and materials industries in Northeast Asia. Existing fertilizer and vinalon plants will be extensively modernized, and a new petrochemical complex will be constructed. In particular, an LNG combined cycle power plant and an SMR small modular reactor will be deployed in the port hinterland to ensure a stable supply of industrial electricity. It will undertake the production of ethylene, propylene, and plastics in conjunction with the Chongjin and Rason oil refineries. We are promoting wastewater treatment and carbon capture by introducing eco-friendly technologies. The modernization of the Hungnam fertilizer complex is our top priority. We are converting the current coal gasification-based ammonia production process to a Russian natural gas-based one. Modernization through a technological joint venture between South Korea's Lotte Fine Chemical, formerly Samsung Fine Chemicals, and Germany's ThyssenKrupp, the world's leading ammonia synthesis technology, will enable an annual urea fertilizer production of 1 million tons, which is more than enough to meet North Korea's total fertilizer demand. The surplus fertilizer will generate $300 million to $500 million in foreign currency annually through exports to China and Southeast Asia. The site of the Hungnam Vinalon factory will be partially converted. Since Vinalon itself is not competitive, the factory facilities will be converted to the production of modern synthetic fibers such as nylon, polyester, and spandex. A new spandex elastic fiber production line will be established in a joint venture with South Korea's Hyosung and Kolon Industries. As spandex is a product currently virtually monopolized by China, there is immediate demand for it as a source to shift away from Chinese supply. The Hungnam Pharmaceutical Factory will be converted into a modern production base for active pharmaceutical ingredients APIs. If API production bases, which global pharmaceutical companies currently locate in India and China to reduce costs, are attracted to Hamhung, it will enable a high-value added pharmaceutical chemical industry utilizing low-wage chemical labor. Hungnam Port will be modernized into a dedicated pier for chemical product exports. A tank terminal dedicated to liquid chemicals, a fertilizer bulk pier, and a container pier will be separated and arranged accordingly. The investment scale amounts to approximately 2.7 trillion won, comprising about 1.5 trillion won for the modernization of Hungnam fertilizer, about 500 billion won for the conversion to synthetic fibers, about 300 billion won for the conversion to pharmaceuticals, and about 400 billion won for the modernization of Hungnam Port. Funding sources consist of 40% joint venture FDI by Korean chemical companies, 30% ADB industrial modernization loans, and 30% Inter-Korean Cooperation Fund. The GDP contribution is approximately $1 billion annually from exports from the Hungnam chemical industry. This is based on the 15th year of the base scenario. Songcheongang District and Sapo District will revitalize the original city center and transition to a service economy. Seongcheongang District, the original city center of Hamhung, and Sapo District, located on the northern bank of the Songcheon River, are the historical, administrative, and commercial centers of Hamhung. The master plan develops these two districts into Hamhung's urban regeneration and service hubs. The waterfront of the Songcheon River will be restored to resemble Seoul's Cheonggyecheon stream. The river, currently polluted by industrial wastewater, will be purified, and walking paths and streets featuring waterfront cafes and restaurants will be created along both banks. This is the most important symbolic investment to transform the image of Hamhung from an industrial city into a livable city. A Hamhung Naengmyeon cold noodle-themed street will be established. A street of traditional restaurants themed around Hamhung Naengmyeon, Hamhung's global brand, will be located in the center of the original city center. Hamhung will be positioned as a food tourism city where tourists from all over Korea visit to eat original Hamhung naengmyeon. It possesses the marketing power to attract hundreds of thousands of visitors annually solely through the noodles. Cultural facilities such as the Hamhung Grand Theater, the Hamhung History Museum, and the Hamhung Zoo will be modernized. The Hamhung Grand Theater, North Korea's premier hub for regional performing arts, will serve as the first stage for inter-Korean performance exchanges following denuclearization. The investment scale is approximately 700 billion won, comprising about 200 billion won for the restoration of the Songcheon River waterfront and about 500 billion won for the commercial redevelopment of the old city center. The contribution to GDP from commerce, tourism, and services is approximately $300 million annually. We will continue our discussion on the growth prospects of Hamhung next time. Thank you.